Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you the best way for you to manage your finances in 2022 with the least amount of effort and the least amount of stress. So one of the biggest problems that most people face, probably including you, is that they don't know how to stop spending money. And not only that, is that they don't even know what they're spending their money on. They don't know where it's going and they don't know when it's coming. The solution to this problem is budgeting. And I know when you hear of budgeting, you think of spreadsheets and numbers and maths, all that other kind of stuff. But in the modern day, it's not like that at all. Budgeting can actually be quite simple. And with the methods I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you how you can do it in the best way possible for you. And with the added benefit, I'm going to save you a lot of money. And don't forget, if you can take any amount of value away from this video, it goes a long way for you to like and then subscribe to the channel. So the first thing that we're going to look at is what actually is budgeting. So budgeting is a overall estimation of the incomings and outgoings of your cash flow. Budgeting is used in many different cases, including businesses and governments. But for this particular video, we're going to talk about using it for personal finance. Budgeting is extremely important, and no matter what your personal financial situation is, whether you're well off or whether you're not so well off, budgeting can always help you. There are so many myths surrounding budgeting, and these myths stop people from doing it. So in part, this video is about breaking down those myths and informing you and helping you make the decision to start budgeting. Some of these myths include people thinking that they don't need a budget at all. Some people think that it involves too many maths and numbers, so they don't think they're going to be able to do it. Some people are well off and they're debt free, so they don't think it's for them. But believe me, budgeting is for everybody. The importance of budgeting cannot be underestimated. In my personal opinion, a budget is more important than the actual cash you have coming in, because if the cash is coming in at the same rate it's going out, you're not going to get anywhere. The problem is that some people, when they're very well off, they just get a little bit lackadaisy with their money. And what happens is that they get into bad financial situations before they even realize it. But budgeting prevents this. Just the same as people that don't have a lot of money, budgeting can help them get out of situations before they even get into them, and can protect them from getting into situations that some people cannot come back from. And sticking to the subject of budgeting, make sure you stick around to the end of the video, because I'm going to be giving out a massive bonus. I'm going to be giving out my favorite 5 apps that I've used before to help me budget my money. So in the past, budgeting was quite difficult, and most people used to leave it to the accountants. Now, it was always about spreadsheets and finding data and receipts and all this complicated stuff. But in the modern day, that's not the case. With technology and the easy access of data and managing to link bank accounts with apps, budgeting is so much easier and it's accessible to every single person. So what I want to get into first is how to actually build a budget that's fit for you. Now I've briefly explained budgeting to you, you must have the idea that budgeting is basically the difference between being financially stable and being in financial ruin. So the first step you need to take when making a budget is to calculate your net income. Your net income is basically how much money you have left at the end of the month after you've paid for all of your expenses. Now you can use this equation to help work out your net income. Your total revenue minus your total expenses equals total net income. Your total revenue for the month is an accumulation of all your income. Now this can be things like your wages, bonuses, any investments you may have. Now, typically, your revenue is consistent every single month. Your expenses are your outgoings. These are your monthly bills. Now, I like to break down my expenses into 2 different types. You have your variable expenses and you have your fixed expenses. Fixed expenses are bills that don't change every single month. So these are things like mortgages, your TV bill, your phone bill, whereas variable expenses are expenses that do change depending on your behavior. So these can be things like the amount of petrol you're using, entertainment, the amount of gas you use, and so on. If you take your total revenue and minus your total expenses, the money that you'll have left at the end is your net income. Now, if your total revenue is higher than your total expenses, you will have some money left over, and this is the money you can use to go towards an emergency fund or to start investing. But on the other side, if your total expenses are more than your total revenue, you have a problem, because that means you're in a money deficit and you need to start making some big changes, and that's where budgeting comes in handy. It's the information that you collect by using this equation that you can use to make a budget. And this is how you start to manage your money. By analyzing this data, you'll be able to find out if you're spending too much money, or if the money's going to the wrong places, or if you're not making enough money in the first place. But you'll be able to determine this dependent on your life yourself. And just a quick reminder, please put a comment down below if you're wondering how a budget can help your life personally, and I'll try to get back to you as quick as possible. So moving on, I want to talk about automating your budget. So budgeting, even though we are in a modern age, it can still be quite complex. And as I'm sure you've gathered, it can also be time consuming. But what if I told you that you could get all this done for you for free? This is something called budget automation. You see, as you've probably already gathered, keeping long-term and even short-term goals can be quite difficult. There's so much stuff going on around us, so many distractions, it can be hard to actually focus and move towards a goal. But with automation, you take that choice out of your hands and it is done for you in the background. By doing this, the attraction to waste or spend your net income is taken away. And the process of creating a budget is made a lot more stress-free and streamlined. I break it down like this. There are 5 key steps to automating your budget. The first is choosing the right platform. Now, this can be different for everybody as everybody has different needs and different apps do different things. You have to pay yourself first. One of the first things you want to do is automate deposits into an emergency fund and to pay off your high interest debt. You have to get your finances in order as soon as possible. The third thing is setting automation up to pay your bills and expenses. You don't want to get caught slipping and have no money at the end of the month and have a big bill come up and you haven't got the money to pay for it. 4 is to start investing. Now, most of these apps, not all of them, but a lot of them do have access to investment funds like indexes and even individual stocks. So you want to set up a small automation, a percentage of your net income that goes towards those investments. And 5, which is probably the biggest one, is increasing your cash flow. By budgeting, you can understand how much money you have. And like most of you, which was the same case for me, I understood that I needed to increase the amount of cash I had coming into my life. Now we're going to get into the bonuses that I promised you earlier in the video. I'm going to give you 5 great apps that you can use to start managing your money today. So the first app is Emma. It does cost £60 for the year to set up, but you get great cashback rewards and it has a really good user interface. The second is Money Dashboard. It's a lot more complex than Emma, but it's also free. So that's a very good option for you to start budgeting. Yolt is at number 3. Now Yolt is specifically made to help you save more money and help you set spending budgets. So if you're a bit of a crazy spender, Yolt may be the one for you. At number 4 is Mint. Now Mint is a lot more user friendly and it is very good at helping you manage your finances, but the automations aren't the best. So I'd have a quick think about how good you are at actually tracking your own expenses before you get involved with Mint. At number 5 is Plum. Now Plum, in my opinion, and what I personally use, is the best out of the 5 apps. Now Plum can automatically track your spending and track your spending habits and then set up percentage amounts of payments into different funds that you like, whether it's a savings fund or an investment fund, and it will automatically connect with your bank account. In my opinion, it's the best app for a beginner and someone that doesn't have a lot of control over their spending habits and their finances. If any of these apps sound like something you may want to use, then I encourage you to join my community. In my community, I have a full breakdown of each of these apps and the pros and cons. I also have articles on different things, including money management, income growth, and investing. And it will help you on your journey towards financial freedom. And it will definitely make a mark in your life. And as a bonus, I'm offering a 1-week free trial for the next month. So you can come into the community, get involved in the group chats. You can either message me directly or any of the other hosts, and then you can start to build a relationship with us. And if it's for you, you can stick around, and if not, you can go. No pain, no hassle. And that's it for this video. I hope that you could take some value away from this and apply that to your life. And until next time, peace.